FailedMessiah.com, Rabbi Shmuel Batayach, Rabbi Berger, and the Failed Calling. There's a website called FailedMessiah.com, which many of you who are anti-Lubavitch have probably enjoyed. The person who started as a man by the name of Rosenberg, whose objection to the Lubavitcher Rebbe was that he didn't get the reaction from the Lubavitcher Rebbe to get involved in the rescue of the Ethiopian Jews. This despite the fact that at the time the Israeli government was involved in knowing about what was going on and was ready to have Operation Moses, in which they took out 30,000 Jews. There were many people who were involved in the rescue of Ethiopian Jewry, and many of them were very, very heroic, including a friend of mine, George and Ann Mann, who went to Ethiopia to rescue a family on their own. That being said, the Rebbe's response to Mr. Rosenberg was very, very clear. A person should first and foremost do those things that he can control. After you do the things that you can control, then you start up with things that are beyond your control. Rosenberg wanted to petition Congress, but Rosenberg did not become a Yerei Shamayim, and he did not become a Talmud Chochem, and all he has become is a big Baal Lashon Hora, a person who slanders others and loves spreading slander. Now, slander doesn't have to be false. Slander can be true. But the truth of the matter is that I don't want to know your evil, the things that are within you. That's between you and God. The only time I need to know about you is if you're going to become my business partner, or if my child is going to be in your care. Then I need to know certain things. But just to go ahead and to spread the knowledge that there exists among the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands of Orthodox Jews, that 30-some odd people have been accused and convicted of child molestation, so what? That's normal. It doesn't mean it's good, but just because somebody's religious doesn't mean that he has no sexual desires or that the person can't be pervert. I'm not going to go into each and every case, but the truth is that there are no angels. Each person has got his own unique difficulties, and sometimes you find the most wonderful people make mistakes. That's why we have Yom Kippur, that's why we do tshuva, that's why if I insult you, I can ask forgiveness. The problem with Rosenberg is there is no such thing as forgiveness. He takes a relish into attacking the Rubashkins. So what did the Rubashkins do? They were successful. They were successful and good people. Is Rubashkin above criticism? No, neither am I. No one is above criticism. But Rosenberg likes to attack people, especially when they are humbled and embarrassed by the way anyway. He titled his thing, his website is FailedMessiah.com. Now I wish to say the following thing. He's an Am Haaretz and Ignoramus. Failed Messiah means someone who wanted to be Messiah, had no business being Messiah. Somebody who is not successful in being Messiah is not called failed Messiah by Maimonides, who is the authority, the supreme authority among the Jewish people. Anybody who wanted to become the Messiah and did not become so, according to Maimonides, is among the great and good kings of our nations, except for things like Jesus and Shabtai Tzvi. These are people who negated the mitzvot, negated the belief in God. And this is where Shmuel Batayach has it right, Berger's got it wrong, and Rosenberg hasn't begun to study. Rosenberg goes ahead and wants to pout that he's more learned than Berger, than Rabbi Dr. Berger, and more than Shmuel Batayach, because Rabbi Gamliel cursed the Christian heresy and issued a curse within the prayers. Just so happens, for your information, Mr. Rosenberg, Rabban Gamliel that we're referring to about V'la Malshinim is the second Rabban Gamliel. Not Rabban Gamliel the first. Rabban Gamliel the first, who met the original Christians, did not curse them. He said that if they were to be, if things were from God, they'd be successful. If not, it would just peter out. Had it not been for Paul, it would have petered out among the Jewish people. What happened was that Paul changed Christianity and made Christianity altogether something else, which is the reason why Rabban Gamliel had to do what he did, because when Christianity changed markedly, they began to become anti-Jewish and virulently anti-Jewish. And so that's why Rabban Gamliel the second had to do what he did. It was not the original Rabban Gamliel, and the aspirations of Jesus had nothing to do with Saul or the Roman Catholic Church. And it was this role of Jesus that Maimonides addresses, which Rabbi Bateach correctly quotes, and Dr. Berger incorrectly tries to go ahead and to assert that Maimonides also does not believe that Messiah can die. Maimonides doesn't deal with that at all, and Nachmanides, who he likes quoting, doesn't say what he says at all. But the most important thing is that someone who is unlearned should keep his mouth shut, and that goes for failedmessiah.com. The Rebbe was a great man, and at the worst, he would be like the great kings of Israel that just didn't make becoming the Messiah. At the best, you would say that the Rebbe transformed the world and made a movement and created the Baal Tshuva movement, which today has hundreds of thousands of adherents all over the world, not just Lubavitchers, but he made that popular all over the world, and it is to the Rebbe's credit. And it is not failed Messiah, but the great Rebbe, and that's what should be the title of the website. Except that Mr. Rosenberg is a Baal Lashon Hara, a man of slander. And that's about all you can do when you're a man of slander. You like to tear people down. Have a good shot.